Hi, this is Hank reporting from Kyiv, and this is my update on Russian-Ukrainian war. Let's see what happened around Ukraine in the last 24 hours. The drone queen. Record export of Ukrainian grain. Mobilization of prisoners. Irreplaceable part in Russian missiles. Mercenaries from 21 countries. The propaganda game. Ukrainian developers created a queen of drones which has now been sent to the Birds of Magyar unit for testing on the battlefield. At the moment, all the tactical and technical characteristics are classified, and we do not know either the flight range, the carrying capacity, and of course we do not know what signal transmission and control technologies it has. We only know that this system will be able to carry a certain number of smaller FPV drones and will most likely act as a signal repeater. This is a very interesting development. I'll follow the information in this area. In April of this year, exports of grains and oil crops exceeded the maximum since the beginning of a full-scale war. According to the Center for Economic Strategy, we shipped 6.6 million tons of food to other countries, mostly through Black Sea ports. The most popular types are corn, wheat, barley, soybeans, rapeseed, and sunflower seeds. To be honest, I did not study this topic until 2022, but when conversations began about the Grain from Ukraine initiative, and it turned out that many countries would literally starve if we could not deliver grain to them, my friends from Germany said that they had very little sunflower oil, which was mostly imported from Ukraine. It turned out that Ukraine has a really large share in the global food trade. I want to remind you that most of our territories where this grain grows are mined or under heavy shelling at the moment. Many Ukrainian seaports, in particular in the Sea of Azov and Crimea, are now blocked by Russia. We'll be able to fully use them for the supply of grain, metal, coal, and anything else throughout the planet, as it was before 2014 after we free our lands. War is bad, trade is good. Help us win this war. I will leave a link to this statistics report in English under this video. President Zelensky signed a law that allows people who are in prison for minor crimes to serve in the Ukrainian army. Those convicted of premeditated murder, sexual violence, crimes against national security and corruption will not be mobilized. This is good news for me. First of all, now this law is worked out. No one wants to arm brutal killers and hope that they will be super patriotic and controllable. We're not Russian army after all. Yes, I'm sure that there are people who may have made a mistake, drove drunk, perhaps not paid off debts, smoked weed, which is illegal in Ukraine, maybe all at once. But let such people have a chance to defend their country. This is RES-47, a sealed two-position, single-stable DC relay designed for switching electrical circuits for DC and AC with frequency of 50 to 2500 Hz, which is manufactured by only one enterprise on the planet, the Radio Relay Factory in the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. It costs from $2.50 per one piece. Why am I talking about this tiny 9-gram relay? According to Ukrainian radio electronics specialist Sergei Flash, this relay is an essential component in all the Russian rockets and drones. How ironic. According to a Forbes investigation based on the data from our intelligence service, Putin is massively recruiting mercenaries from at least 21 countries to take part in the war against Ukraine. As a rule, these are poor students and migrants who are in the base, which is officially called the Base of Russian Labor Migrants. On this map, we see that this is mainly the northern part of Africa, but even from distant Cuba and Venezuela, scoundrels who are ready to kill for money come here. It is publicly known that Nepal has stopped issuing work permits to its citizens in Russia, and about 100 Nepalese are listed as missing. Also, earlier I saw a video with a captured Nepalese who don't even speak Russian. It will be quite difficult to explain that such characters at the call of their hearts and conscience flew to distant Ukraine in order to protect the Russian-speaking population from whatever they are trying to protect us. By the way, I am the Russian-speaking population of Donbass. I confirm that in 27 years in Mariupol, no one have ever oppressed me. Until 2014, everyone lived peacefully and cheerfully. We hosted the European Football Championship. Beyoncé and Rihanna performed in Donetsk. Was it really so unbearable for someone to live in Ukraine? Russia spends billions of dollars to spread the propaganda, push the narrative, twist the facts, and so on. We all know that Ukraine is really losing the propaganda game because, firstly, we don't have that much resources, and secondly, Russian propaganda channels were formed long time ago. If we rewind to, let's say, 2012, what would Ukraine promote in a peaceful times? Ukraine exists, or so you know, we are a separate country. This is nonsense, and now we have to work on a counter-propaganda from scratch to fight these lies, to do the fact-checking and so on. The more I study this area, the more complicated it looks to me. I started recording these videos after a difficult conversation with a German citizen who came to Kyiv, came across me in the baseball press cap, and when I was filming a reportage on the demonstration of the families of prisoners of war, and this man wanted to ask me a few questions, but in fact he wanted to speak his mind. I already mentioned this in a previous video, and I understand that I should make a separate video about this situation, how I see it. Spoiler alert, I realized that it is very important to tell people from other countries in simple words about what is happening here at the local level and how we see it from the inside. On the outside, many good people simply don't understand the essence of this war. Russians and Ukrainians killing each other, everything burns. We have crowds of refugees all over the world. It's hard to understand what they all want and when it will end. This is probably my mission to explain to you at my level, and maybe it will be useful to someone. That's it for today. It was my report on Russian-Ukrainian war for the day number 815. Thank you for watching and take care.